Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of A Chapter a Day Keeps the Doctor Away. My name is Alan, otherwise known as Hisui, and I'm from ReverseThieves.com, as well as the Speakeasy Podcast. And this time I'm looking at Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, Chapter 97, Susshi. And it's another chapter with a sound effect word title. And maybe I'm just like one of those conspiratorial nuts and seeing a pattern when there is none. But it just seems a little odd that she's been using sound effect titles for a while. I'm wondering if she's been working on where the plot's been going so much that she hasn't had time to pick like real titles, because I remember a lot of the earlier chapters were like whole sentences. And I'm wondering if they just have kind of sketch, scripts, and they do a lot more story development while the chapters are being written now. I mean, it could be nothing. I could be seeing patterns where there are none. But it does make me a little bit suspicious that maybe they have not had as much time to work on stuff now that they've kind of entered this whole new arc. But once again, could be just conspiracy theory. I would be curious to know if there is something else going on though. But still fun, so what does it matter? But we get into the main chapter, and it wasn't hard to guess that we would start off the chapter with them not really having any good leads. Basically, the whole student council is like, all right, we had a list of everybody who was suspicious and might have been a witch, and none of them panned out. And so, all right, there's no reason to waste our time beating our heads against the wall. Let's just all break for today. Everybody has been working pretty hard on this for a while, so let's just have a free day and maybe gather our heads together tomorrow and write up a new list of people to observe. And Yamada's like, great, we decide to have a break day, the one day Shirashi is late at cram school, so I basically have to wait till she gets out of cram school before we can do anything. What the heck am I gonna do spending my time? I mean, oh no, the supernatural club. And he rushes over and to see Miyabi and Kentaro basically being the only ones in the club room, totally forgotten by everybody who's either on the supernatural, basically who's on the student council or had supernatural powers. And he's like, oh no, I feel so bad. What are they doing? And, they're just kind of doing what they normally would have done alone together. So, Miyabi's doing her supernatural studies and faking supernatural events, which is kind of funny because she's been up to her neck, if not beyond, in supernatural activities for the last semester, and now she's back to her old ways. And Kentaro is frying up tempura, and apparently they've just been hanging out. Maybe some people have come over to basically snag food and play with the heated table. And so they all seem happy to see him, and he expected a little more grr, but they're just lovable goofballs like, it's glad you came, we're just doing nothing. And it turns out there's one other person there, and it is Now. And she is totally not giving up on Yamada, even though he is dating Shirashi. Essentially, she's like, yeah, I could be wife number one. I guess Shirashi could be wife number two, But I'll be the real deal. Don't worry about it. And so they go through a little bit of her shamelessness. I always liked her as a character. She's a little bit weirdo, but although, man, she is definitely not a subdued or nene tsundere character. She's definitely that whole Sarashi thing doesn't work out here. If it does work out, but you need somebody else here, don't worry about it now. And then after that little exchange, unfortunately, Miyabi and Kotaro get shuffled off. And I do have to agree, I've been talking to Kate about it. It seems like now that they have the two new student council members, the vice presidents, they kind of feel the role that Miyabi and Kentaro did. But I don't know, they're lovable characters. I'm glad to see they're still around, still doing stuff. Hope they don't get forgotten, in in favor of the new vice presidents, because I don't know. I mean, Miyabi Ito was one of the most popular characters. I don't think her popularity has faded that much. I'm sure that some of the new characters have definitely taken a little more precedence, but I feel like Miyabi not going to be one to shuffled off to the side. But that's all we get of them right now. But glad to see them back. Kate was like, I'm missing them. So there they were. Glad to see them. But now, on the other hand, it's like, hey, I know where another witch is. And if you kiss me, I'll tell you. And he's like, whoa, whoa, I got a girlfriend. I know you're putting on the table, but I'm happy where I am. And she's like, no, 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 no. I just want, to basically be shielded from other witch powers. So if you could hook me up with the old protection spell, that would be cool. And so he's like, all right. And they go to the basketball club, and apparently they were in disorder, but now that one of them has a witch power, they're working together as a team. And now seems like, oh yeah, one of the girls definitely has the charm power. And I think it's the captain, number 4. And we see the sporty girl, and chapter ends. And nothing in this series goes exactly as planned. So I'm not thinking Tsubaki is exactly what it is. First off the bat, if you noticed, each of the witches got a power that aided with some problem deeply that they had. And so you might think that the team falling apart and the charm power might be the most, relevant one, but I'm thinking it's something else. I'm thinking maybe telepathy. Maybe, like, that she has the telepathy power, because I'm thinking Now has the charm power, and she just isn't telling Yamada. I think she basically wants to do this with Yamada to, kind of befriend him and, be like, hey, I'm also a good candidate as a girlfriend. Because I feel like definitely she seems like a person who would want the charm power. It would be a little unexpected for a former witch to get a different witch power. So I'm thinking Now has the charm power and she's just keeping it to herself. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe Tsubaki has like the past and she was able to help people and that's why they all joined. Or maybe she has the future power and like she used it to help out the other members of the team and they're like, well, and they all became friends with that. I'm thinking it's that. And 2, I'm wondering if it's Tsubaki at all. Or if Tsubaki is just going to be a person who they befriend, but the actual witch is somebody else on the team. Like maybe like maybe the coach or like the manager, one of the other girls who isn't exactly on the team but deals with the team and was like really upset that they weren't working together. And so she got the witch power because, when they find, basically it's going to be one of those things where, they think it's Tsubaki and they keep, and she's so charming that, she's obviously charming everybody. And then, Yamada kisses her and he doesn't get the charm power. And he's like, "What's going on? I didn't get a power. She doesn't have a power." And now this random girl's like, "Why did you just randomly kiss me? What's going on here?" Or he gets a, "Oh, he randomly kissed me. All right." Either trouble or a new paramour, maybe both. But I'm thinking it's somebody else on the team who has the power, and not the power that they think it is. But we'll see. I can't say too much about this girl. I mean, she's obviously sporty, but we haven't really seen her much other than she seems popular. But curious to see what this new girl is like, and see if any of my predictions are right. But we'll see what pans out in the next chapter. All right, see you guys then.